Greetings, viewership, and welcome to another edition of Pathfinder Kingmaker, when we are progressing the plot and actually heading upstairs to bed. Let's begin.
All according to plan.
In the meantime, we'd like your likes, we subscribe to your subscriptions. Thanks for ringing that bell too. It'll make you, and me, and others feel better. Let's proceed. What is it? I was trying to sleep over here.
The mansion's under attack. We need to help.
At least I have my clothes on.
Some villains broke in and started killing everyone. I barely made it. Hurry, we have to help the guards fight off the attackers or we'll all be cut down one by one.
Yes, we'll handle things. I'm sorry for being so irritable. You just got me right before bed, and I was not feeling up to whatever it is that you were doing. But duty calls. Where? All right, I'll follow. Yes, I get it. I was too busy lost in thought. Good job. Now, one thing that I mentioned in a previous video that I'm also mentioning here is that if you use the Bag of Tricks mod, like this, you can rename your party members, including your animal companion. So, if you go to Party Options and click your pet, you can rename your pet. So let's set this name for me to Spot. You can name this character whatever you want. Click off of the field, close the window, I choose to save, and then we proceed. Of course we take everything. Oh, it's Tartuccio. Well, he was a bit irritable before, but sure. Oh, as an aside, I tried to daze one of them, but that requires a 4-round action, and, well, he was on. Good. Spot? Kill.
You're just in time. A bit longer and I'd have been... Whew, I don't even want to think about it. Can you imagine what a terrible loss this would have been? But it's all right now. I'm safe, sound, and unscathed, ready to lead you to victory. Lady Jamandi's holding the line in the banquet hall. You know, the one where she had us gathered before. We need to make our way to her. And along the way, we'll try to save some of these dummies who are supposed to accompany us to the Stolen Lands. Speaking of dummies, take this ring. Quiet now, so that little fool doesn't hear us. She might try to steal it herself. It's magical. It'll protect you. You'll need it while you work to defend me.
I have mixed feelings about this, Tartuccio, but I accept. As an aside, only the main character can use it. So, sure.
Adventures call to them.
Hold a moment while we just set this stuff up.
I know what to do.
Just letting the ink dry.
Alright, the only cantrip that you have that matters right now is Daze, so that you can help Daze lock people while you're singing. Okay, you have Burning Hands and Sleep. Well, not the spells I would have picked, but still useful. Deal. If you right-click one of these spells or abilities, it becomes your auto-attack instead if you let it be. I don't normally do that. I don't trust it. You are not a warrior type, get rid of these warrior type abilities. But do keep the aid and nothing. Oh, you actually have a familiar. That's new to me.
Focus
Sorry,
on the
I'm
goal.
used to Baldur's Gate where 1 through 6 are selection of characters, and it's the F keys that toggle the
I
abilities.
always have a second plan.
Time's not waiting.
I deserve better.
Surprised he doesn't know Magic Missile. Well, maybe that was changed somehow. Oh yeah, Lindsay,
was called for.
wear this. The tutorials are mostly displayed for the viewer's benefit, not mine. I've already seen these tutorials a bunch of times. Now, there might come a tutorial that's unfamiliar to me, but until then, it's just whatever.
I wrote it like I saw it.
They dare to attack me?
Yes, I might reduce the graphic settings later for the sake of reducing lag. But in the meantime, we just roll with what we got. And wow, Lindsay got hurt. This is one reason I advise that you just play with maximum HP per level for all of your party. And make summons controllable. Daze is useful because it denies the enemy or one subject a turn. That is normally enough. And you should also know Daze. Yes, you do. Good, good, and good. Says.
You deserved it. Anything is possible.
Yeah, just be sure you use the correct item, because if we use this, it would be an overheal, and yeah, we'd be losing out. Because we have the quick use mod, we can just shift left click a potion or a scroll from inventory and use it that way. Doesn't work with wands to my knowledge, which is a pity, but oh well. And I'm also pushing and holding the tab key to highlight interactable objects.
Blood for Gorum! It's the end for you rats!
Can you make an epic pose? I need inspiration.
Yeah, my attitude toward casting spells is that in this part of the game, when we have so few, it's better not to use them any more than necessary, even though we have other party members. Now, your opinion might differ, and I'm also coming from the stance of having played on fair difficulty, when you basically had to play perfectly through the very early game to be even able to play the rest of the game. Ow. A yellow HP bar on the top means that character is an ally that's controlled by the computer. I have no direct input on Emiri, and she's just going to get mad and smash stuff, because that's her role in this game. The target is blocked, so, and we don't have a line, sorry, we don't have a straight line, so we can't charge, because there's a slight corner involved. Yuck. That means we only get one attack instead of 3. Oh well. I think he tried to trip or disarm someone.
Oh, it's you. Stay up from under my feet or I'll strike you down.
You sound awfully cocky.
Blood for Gorum!
Barbarians.
Yes, we agree on that one point, Tartuccio.
I think that's exactly how heroes should be.
Bloody and violent and not thinking about the consequences of their actions?
What, stupid, sweaty, and always looking for something to gobble up or lop the head off of? Calistria, save me from such heroes.
I look forward to killing you, Frost Giant, soon. That's a Frost Giant who just cast Cone of Cold. He might be a Frost Giant Jarl. I don't know. I've never checked his stats in that regard. The door is open, but we can't leave. Because game. The path is blocked, and we can't leave. But sure, we'll take all this stuff. Yeah, I get it. It's a dex check.
Applause?
Enemy approaching.
Yeah, and because of our bag of tricks setting where we always take 20 out of combat on rolls, we just auto pass that and got some experience because I don't like having to reroll or reload. You are barely in range, which means you're in range. Oh hey, we should have a straight shot to at least one of these things. Here we go. Well, we used all of our attacks on the first guy, so because it was a charge, we couldn't just put it on the other guy. Oh well. Ooh! Well, he's staying down for now.
Leave this to me.
Spot, kill. Yes, only the skill user receives experience because we want to boost the experience points as high as possible for our main character and leave everyone else just wherever they are.
A trivial matter.
If they incidentally gain levels or experience, sure. Yes, I get it.
In due time.
Yeah, take it all.
What have we here? This chest is full of gold. I guess it's for the guards' salaries, all things considered. Well, those freeloaders don't seem to have been working too hard for it. Maybe we should pocket it instead.
What? No, we're heroes, not thieves.
Who said we were stealing it? We'll just take the gold for safety so the assassins don't get it. And then we can heroically return it to Jamandi when this is all over.
Money. Well, yes, the lady of the house would want to have this. We can pick it up and give it to her, if she'll believe that we'll do so with noble intentions.
A lot.
Are you out of your minds? We're in the middle of a battle, blood flowing in rivers as an army of assassins chases us, and you want us to rob our host? A noble feat, to be sure.
Noble, you say?
That is not far.
Oh, for familiar faces. I hope you're not so frightened as to swing at every shadow. It's me, Jathal. I don't recommend advancing down the hallway, assuming you value your life, of course. There were a few people with me, and you can see what happened to them.
They look very dead.
And just how did they all end up dead while you don't seem to have a scratch?
Yes.
I'll answer but briefly and just once. Further scares and explanations will wait until we aren't being hunted by a group of assassins. Deal?
Deal.
All right. I'm undead. These traps are deadly to the living, but they're harmless to me.
What do you mean, undead? Really? Like zombies or skeletons or...
As I said, further explanations will wait until later. All you need to know right now is that we're on the same side, and we have to fight off a small army of hired assassins. Let's get to it.
Agreed.
Ready for anything? No mistakes.
And just so you know, items picked up go to the party inventory, and you can instead put them on someone's belt or someone's person just to ensure that they're handled appropriately. Oh hey, Greyface.
Interesting.
Yes, it's a trap. I'm pretty sure we'll just automatically disable it because we're guaranteed a natural 20 on the
finished.
roll. Yes, I
Oh,
like
what
getting
a
the 54
find.
experience per.
A trivial matter.
We could just have Jathal run over these,
A
but then
trivial
we,
matter.
or at least Doan would be missing out on a bunch of experience. And from my experience, and from my tests, it's impossible to gain a level before the end of this Assassin's Mansion tutorial.
And then our leader charged forwards. Hey, wait for me!
This is one time when I really wish Jathal had the magic domain, because then she could just, well, throw her scythe from range and deal lots of damage. The stuff is useful, these two at least, in this scenario, because we're still level 1. After this, it doesn't matter as much. And oh look, maximum damage. Hallelujah. I also know that I could have buffed beforehand, but I just felt like I was in a hurry. Here, this is a time when I'll just show off the spiffy ability of Grease. If they would fall. And they still might. Assuming they don't die first. What? I don't get it. Oh. Someone tripped Lindsay, and she's staying down so that she doesn't die. Hey, let's try this sleep effect. Ah, bugger. Well, we can only hit one of the enemies without hitting the pet, and the pet is quite useful.
Unworthy.
Oh, yes. And that is why I enjoy using a scythe at low levels. Lots of damage if you hit.
What a miserable last chapter.
I am prepared.
Here's a demonstration of Dismissed spell. This gets rid of the grease slick
As it should be.
quickly. Yes, as it should be. And because we're still in tutorial land and they don't want to be overly cruel to us, yeah, the party members just jumped back up after the fight, even though they didn't
In
deserve
due
it at all.
time.
So, the correct answer is this one, then this one. Then this one. I checked a guide on this, but I've also just stumbled into it sometimes. So there. Yeah, heal self because I know what's coming, and it's good to be prepared for this. There, you're at full HP.
Ask.
Adventures call to them.
Okay, this might be a time for Inspire Courage. Or maybe the first turn after you get in there.
I know what to do.
Yeah, it looks safe now, but you'll see what's in there when we get there.
You're but a footnote in our story.
It's a mimic. It's a mimic chair. Well, that's a new standard.
Wretched things.
Yeah, start singing. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord, and so on and so forth. Or your favorite too. Either way works. It's immune to daze and mind-affecting stuff.
Just die already!
Yes, I felt the same way. And it's also immune to acid. How unpleasant. But it is not immune to just, normal damage. We'll conveniently take a 5-foot step back, and I know it's an ooze, so in this edition it's in the trip. But yeah, we just did maximum damage. That is an occasion to use your spells. Absolutely.
Just letting the ink dry.
Okay. The mimic chair is dead. Normally in Pathfinder and D&D, mimics are aberrations and not oozes, but sure, we'll just accept that it's true in this game, regardless of what's true in the tabletop edition. Oh, let's loot the ooze.
Advance! Unworthy.
Focus on the goal. A calculated risk.
Oh yeah, it is an aberration, so it is probably a shapeshifter. Whatever.
Wretched thing.
Won't let us loot, so we're just moving
All
on.
according to plan.
We'll be able to just easily loot anything that was on the ground once we exit the area. Is it on the ground? It's absolutely on the ground. Not dead, but tripped. That's still a victory. Here, let's
This is where
bow
I
the
step
bowman.
in.
We are off by 1. Their AC is lower because meaning they're more easily hit because they are surprised. We got pretty much nothing from it. Oh, he just got to move into position. I'll take an acid splash. Or your weapon that you're holding.
Out of my way!
Nope.
This will hurt.
And it did. Hallelujah. Oh look, it's the tiefling girl from earlier. There, now she provides a flanking bonus. Let's see, kill one guy? Yeah, kill one guy. Deal. Yeah, because he's a small creature, he can't move as far as a medium creature.
Leave this one to me!
He actually made the will save. I'm totally surprised. Yeah, I don't get it. He should have been dazed. Whatever, it happened. Natural 1, automatic failure. Oops. Okay, well, that was a pretty much guaranteed kill.
Serves you right.
Despicable!
And there we go.
Everything is so much fun with a little fire. What a night, huh? I thought I was all alone. It's good you're here. A bit boring, chasing fool assassins without anyone watching the show.
It's not fun at all. Many people have died for nothing.
We shall soon find out what is happening with that, Ms. Lindsay.
Of course. I'm from Kadira. But tales of hot deserts and shady oases can wait until the fighting's finished. But if you'd like to share a dinner and pleasant conversation, just say the word. I like making new friends. I am Kayesi, one of the many here who seek a better fate, answering the call of Lady Jamandi. But unlike the others, I never dropped my guard, day or night. It's why I'm still alive.
Well, thanks. We might have this dinner date later, but now we need to go.
I don't know where you're heading, but I'll be at the entrance to the main hall. I think I saw some guards there. Join me there, if you wish.
Sir Doan salutes back.
Interesting.
Okay. What hidden stuff was found? A hidden brick. Okay, so a hidden brick. Oh, masterwork longsword. Sells for more.
Grotus, I can sense your silhouette hovering over me. It won't be much longer. Soon we shall meet, O Lord of Oblivion.
Oh, quit your sniveling, you... Whatever you are. Get up and fight, or you will regret it. Now.
How rude, speaking to a dying man that way. Look, I can't even move. What? It can't be. But I'm gravely wounded. I can't even stand on my own 2 feet. Watch. It seems I will live.
Yes.
I suppose I must postpone meeting my god. Not for long, I'm sure. But while we remain in this transient world, Arim is at your service.
And yes, don't never do that again, or you will regret it. And yeah, just looking at his stats, it's made even more egregious by the fact that he's a divine caster. He should have been able to heal himself.
Ready for anything.
Yes, I'm still here.
In due time.
You, run and get an axe. You, bring more water. You, stay here and hold our defense. Those assassins are still around here somewhere. Aha! Some of our guests survived. Good. You need to get to the banquet hall and help Lady Jamandi.
Wait, who are you and what's going on here? It's been awfully confusing.
Keston, House Garess, a fighter in the service of Sword Lord Jamandi Aldori. Right now, I'm in charge of the mansion guards. As you can see, there's a lot to do.
If I were a rich and influential lady like Jamandi, I'd also give myself a manly captain of the guard. Or 2.
Someone opened the gate, let in a group of assassins in the middle of the night. Now they've set the mansion on fire to cut off access to the hall. They don't want Lady Jamandi to get reinforcements. We cleared the passage so you can get through. Just try to avoid inhaling the smoke. We'll be right behind you. We just need to put out the fire first to save the mansion.
Considering Lady Jamandi's fate, I'm not surprised that a whole pack of assassins were unleashed on her, including a giant. But what's at stake? What could anyone hope to gain?
Well, she's a noble. Killing her is basically like big game trophy hunting.
No, we'll manage. I've got my best people here, those who still live. Your place is by Lady Aldori's side.
It doesn't seem right. What if some of the guards are wounded? We need to help them.
We need to help our lady host first.
You'll have to run through the fire. We've almost put it out at the entrance, so your main concern should be to not inhale any smoke. Hold your breath and take the first right, then head straight down the hallway.
Fire doesn't frighten me, thanks to hell's blood running in my veins. I'll go ahead and wait for you on the other side. Catch up!
May Abadar keep you safe.
And so our adventure started, earlier and much more tragically than we'd expected. The whole team who had gathered in the hall yesterday had been reduced to but a handful of brave souls, led by Sir Doan, and not at all by that scoundrel Tartusio, no matter what he might have imagined of himself. Lady Jamandi Aldori was waiting for us, but we had to get to her. But to get to her, we'd have to march through fire, literally. As we approached the burning building, we drenched ourselves with buckets of water. Prudence is the key to victory. Before moving through the fire, we thoroughly wet our clothes and hair. After that, we We covered our noses and mouths before we rushed inside. It was a good thing we had not wasted any time. After entering the building and taking just a few steps forward, the wall behind us slanted and crashed down with a terrible crackling sound blocking the way back. While we may not have planned on going back, if we'd come in a little later, the flaming logs and red-hot bricks would have fallen right on our heads. Regardless, we were left with only one way to go. The hot air burned our lungs, and our eyes watered from the smoke, but Sir Doan led us stubbornly through the flames, while Tertuccio did nothing useful at all. We'd made it to the hallway leading to the banquet hall when we'd heard someone calling for us. It was Valerie, one of the guards I'd chatted with a bit in the banquet hall. Even then, in their calm setting, I'd been stunned by her beauty. But now, amidst the smoke and flame, she looked like a celestial avenger. An armored deity, menacing but beautiful and merciful, descending from the higher spheres to help us poor mortals. She held a burned, barely living guard in her arms. "There are 2 more!" she shouted as she passed by us. "They are wounded. Help me pull them out!" Petruchio grumbled something about how Jamandi was waiting for us. Meanwhile, Sir Doan... Well, we rushed to save the guards from the fire. Saving the poor fellows didn't take long. Together, we lifted them up and carried them away from the fire. Only then did Valerie pause to catch her breath and wipe the sweat from her face. "Thank you. That was truly noble of you," she said. "And now, let us rush to Lady Aldori's aid." Ensuring the guards we'd rescued were relatively safe, we'd made our way to the hall where the battle was already in full swing.
That is not far.
Time's wasting.
All right, we know a battle is ahead.
And Lindsay was called forth.
Yes.
Good.
The end draws near.
Share your will.
See, this is what I said about being able to just easily collect all the loot that was left behind when you leave an area. I wonder if the flaming sword comes standard with this keep. I'm also not sure why Spot's portrait changed.
As it should be. I need to
Let's
concentrate.
open with a
Becoming
major
distracted
spell.
leads to becoming dismembered.
I'm holding control to avoid snapping to grid.
We
I said down, all of you. Yeah, now's a very good time for experimentation.
This was not part of the plan.
As a player, I am standing in awe at that. He went from full to close to dead in one critical hit sneak attack, which can happen. Well, at least he was useful with the tripping grease. Well, we found the leader. He's a caster. You fools! Step aside and the great Tatushio shall handle this. Ha! I told you it would be simple.
Magritio, Turinos.
Seems like a bug. Yeah. He'll live.
Let us strike as one! Do not falter!
At least he's stabilized now. That means he won't bleed out. This is my favorite type of murder. Sleep murder. looking for the coup de grace ability. Oh yes! Unit is asleep. It's within melee range. We're using a ×4 critical weapon. This thing is about to die. Oh yes! I don't know what the bite power of a real-world leopard is, but it's pretty strong. You need a pretty strong bite force to be able to just bite something into that many explosive bits like that so quickly. Ah! What a fool of a leader. He actually thought he could not die against these things? Ah, leave it to me. We are all lost. Oh, shut up, old fat man. Either shut up or I will kill you myself. Oh, well, I'm not sure if I want that. Wait a minute. He's a level 4 character and he only has a +3 will save. And he still passed due to a high roll. Ugh. Well, apparently this brown splotch is grease. Yeah, stay away from the grease. Grease is painful. And yes, I knew I was exploiting some sort of bug to move farther, I'm okay with that. The game says I can, and, well, the game's also bugged against us, because sometimes enemies should have failed their saves, but they didn't. Leave it to me. Do you have any sort of ranged weapons that you're proficient with? Any? Because you're a Sacred Fist War Priest, I assume not. Damage is d6 plus 4, or more if we use this. We're absolutely using that. I know it's an exploit, but I want to get to the end of this fight sooner. I know that it isn't a matter of whether we win.
Stay behind me! Let us strike as one!
Serves you right.
I really like when we trip enemies, because when they try to stand, we get attacks of opportunity, meaning additional attacks. You're a barbarian. Where is your cleave? Odd that we just can't inspect her stats. We can check out the assassin leader, but not our hostess.
Leave this one to me.
Repent!
also surprised he didn't come equipped with that. How heavy flail it is, but oh well.
Do not hold back!
You deserved it.
Onward.
Well, there was exactly enough accuracy to hurt it. What, are you just a bunch of buffoons? Ha!
Your life ebbs low.
Onwards!
Ah, whatever.
Wretched things.
Magrizi, Turinos.
What a waste. Become as dust.
Stay behind me! This didn't work. Must be doing it wrong.
Oh, Kill it, you fools! It shouldn't be that difficult. His mirror images are gone.
Despicable!
But at least the barbarian did something.
Let us strike as one!
The end draws near.
Just letting the ink dry. And Lindsay was called forth. Any last wishes?
Advance!
Yeah, I know what's coming, so I'm looting this guy. And I know what's also coming, so... he may as well just keep his heavy flail. And his scrolls. I probably won't be using them soon. Yeah, I'll borrow this too. That seems valuable. I'm still not sure how we went from having Spot the normal leopard to no picture. Oh well. It's probably because there's no portrait named Spot, but there's a portrait named Leopard.
Well, sorry.
Share your
Was
will.
lost in thought.
Yeah, all that Frost Giant had on him was some non-magical gear? I don't buy it. Something's amiss here.
Thank you for your valor and bravery. The enemy was strong, but you were stronger, and that means I made the right choice. Just as I thought, there were worthy leaders among you. I'm especially grateful to them for the courage and common sense they showed while defending the mansion. But this attack means we have even less time than I thought. Someone already knows of our plans and is acting against us. You'll begin your expedition immediately.
Lady Aldori, please, I know who arranged this attack. The vile king of Pitax, Iroveti. What's more, I know who among us works for him. Hey, you! Show everyone the ring you're wearing. You think I wouldn't recognize Iroveti's seal? That's why he wasn't killed. The bandits recognized him as one of their own by this signet ring.
I beg to differ, you over-talkative midget. They targeted me and I went down in one hit.
Probably, yes. But this evidence is circumstantial at best. There's definitely a spy among us. But who? All I have is one word against another. I'm afraid you're both under suspicion.
They both came to your aid, Lady Jamandi. But a liar's cunning knows no bounds. I've never met these two or their companions. For all I know, they're all conspiring spies.
How could you say that? We fought together. We literally went through fire together. And then you vanished into thin air. After you promised you'd wait.
My words might be rash.
I bet my life despise anyone but this man. I saw how he dealt with those creeps with my own eyes. A true warrior. I'd go with him through hell and high water. This purple crook, on the other hand, he's got the eyes of a spy and the mug of a spy!
Why, thank you, Amiri, for that vote of confidence.
Lady Aldori, don't listen to this thick-headed barbarian. She doesn't know what she's talking about. During the attack, our leader showed his true colors. He forced us to break into the armory and rob it.
I only did so at your suggestion, and to ensure that the property there would be secure for Our Lady.
And not just that. Upon finding the guard's salaries in the armory, he immediately pocketed it all.
As I
Considering the
said,
circumstances, that was more than reasonable.
That was a sound decision. Sometimes one must act at one's own risk and peril, until crossing the boundaries of what is allowed. Showing initiative is no crime.
Well, of course, theft is not to be condoned. However, when the fire burns around you, and you are but one step away from death, is it not insane to worry about laws and rules?
What about that trick he pulled right before we... He knew very well you were fighting the enemy, but instead of rushing to help you, he dallied as long as he could, dropping everything to save people from the fire, even though the guards were handling things just fine. He was obviously hoping to show up too late and find you already dead.
well, yeah, the game remembers that. I wouldn't have saved them without good cause. Dead soldiers are useless, but the wounded could still help everyone defend the mansion.
Cruel, but true.
It was perfectly reasonable. Just the way a leader should think.
How could you say such a monstrous thing? Is that the way the hero of my book would talk? You sound more like a villain.
Have you ever been in war? I'm sorry, my lady, but if our opinions differ and our paths part here, so be it.
Enough squabbling. I'm still not sure which of you I can trust. However, the risk of entrusting the whole affair to a spy is too great. Here's what we'll do. 2 teams will head out. That way, I'll know at least one group can be counted on to serve my interests in the stolen lands.
Lady Aldori, most of those who were to set off for the stolen lands have been killed. Those who yet live will require help. Please allow me to join the expedition.
I'm sad to lose such a talented warrior. But you're right, Valerie. They have greater need of you right now. Go, and may Abadar keep you. Which of the 2 teams would you prefer to accompany?
If my leader allows, I would join his team. He seems a worthy commander in my eyes.
Commanders, military leaders, all these laws and rules are but dust and vanity. I suppose I will accompany Tartuccio.
I like how our leader does things. Efficient, and without unnecessary spiritual agonizing. I'll go with him.
Efficient? I'd say heartless. Would the protagonist of my book do such a thing? No. I guess I'd better go with Tartuccio.
After all the fuss you made about not liking him earlier, well, so be it.
As for me, I know neither of these 2. At least, not well enough. And I have no wish to become an unwitting pawn to an unworthy leader. If Lady Jamandi allows, I'll remain in Restov and help mend the wounds this attack has inflicted. But who knows? The road may bring me to the stolen lands, but not yet.
I don't even need to think. I'm coming with this man. As for you, Purple Toad, just wait until we meet along the way. I'll be sure to hang your rotten spy guts from the trees.
Drastic, but we shall see.
All right, we have 2 teams. To avoid unnecessary conflict on the road, you'll each take a different route to the stolen lands. Tartuccio's team will go through Navacta's crossing. The garrison commandant will provide him all the help he needs. You will take your team to Oleg Levitin's trading post. He's been complaining about the Stag Lord's bandits for a while now. There, you'll be provided with all the necessary travel supplies. I'd like to believe you, but I know all too well how convincing traitors and spies can be. If you're truly innocent, I hope you can forgive me this precaution.
Absolutely, my lady.
While you're away, Keston will investigate the night's events and learn who in Restov is working for Patox. But you should know that it isn't just Patox we need to worry about. The Royal House of Sertova may also interfere in our plans. I've managed to keep this affair a secret from them so far, but that can't last long. By my estimations, you have no more than 3 months. After that, any feats you accomplish will be pointless.
Then let us go swiftly, everyone.
And now, farewell. This battle was but the first ordeal along your path, and you overcame it as true champions of Restov. May the obstacles that follow also fall to your feet. Fear nothing, my friends, and return victorious.
Absolutely, my lady.
Surviving a terrible night, our small team set off to brave our fate. Beware, stolen lands. Heroes are on the way.
And that, dear viewership, is where we end this video. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the likes, the subscribes. Good night, and God bless.